What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson, and as always, I'm joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Choops, how you doing, man?
I am doing fantastic. Again, thank you for asking. But again, it is time to interview a real life wrestler. So let's get to it.
You are absolutely right. Our next guest is a 5-year veteran that has. Oh, did we lose him already there?
There he
There we
is.
go. Got it. There we
You missed
go.
you were getting ready to miss the best intro ever, but
Yeah,
you're back.
it's okay. Here we are. Here we are. Our next guest is a 5-year veteran that has wrestled for Empire Pro Wrestling, Core Pro Wrestling in Oklahoma City, Majestic Championship Wrestling, and BCW in Texas, and was ranked 180 on the 2023 Queer Wrestling Index. Logan Knight. Logan, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good, guys. How are you?
We're great, man. This is our favorite part of the job here is getting to talk to wrestlers and just have some great conversations, especially with the state of indie wrestling these days. It's in a boom period, so we want to know who's out there making moves, and we greatly appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, it's an honor. Man, the 5-year vet status already hitting. I'm barely there. Like I think I still have like 3 or 4 months left until it's actually 5 years. But gosh, it seems like it's been like a lot longer. That's all I'll say.
Okay. Well, let's get right on into it. Here at the Wrestling Junkies podcast, we believe that wrestlers are superheroes. Every superhero has an origin story. So, Logan, tell us your earliest memories of professional wrestling.
Ooh, okay. So my earliest memories of professional wrestling, it's like just like any other wrestler, it's kind of synonymous on why they became a wrestler. But I was born in 1999, and so wrestling, just like as a whole, was kind of on just like a overall boom. Like everywhere in the world was just like putting out new styles or like harder hitting styles of wrestling than they normally would before. And something that drew me in pretty early when I was like about 3 or 4, I started watching wrestling because my uncle would show me every week. And he also had just like old DVDs, tapes, and stuff like that. I remember watching the WrestleMania match. That was the triple threat, like TLC between the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys. And then from there, I was hooked. Ever since then, I dived into everything I possibly could. And I didn't even know you could really like become a professional wrestler, if that makes sense. Like, when you're a kid, you're like, being a movie actor would be so dope, or like being an astronaut would be so cool, but it's like astronomical odds that it'll actually happen. You can't just like wake up and say you're going to do that one day. But with professional wrestling, it turns out you can do that. You can just wake up and be like, I'm a professional wrestler. And so I kind of did that in a sense. I was going to college at the University of Central Oklahoma. I was 18 going on 19, and I had always looked up online like professional wrestling schools in my area, and nothing would ever pop up in the search engines and stuff like that. And that's Oklahoma's fault. They're a little old-fashioned in the wrestling. There was a company running at the time in Oklahoma City called the Mid-South Wrestling, and a lot of older guys like Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Biss from TNA would wrestle there all the time. And one of the guys there ended up becoming my trainer, as well as a guy named Brandon Groom that used to wrestle at FCW back in the early 2000s. So that's a bit how I got my start. I kind of just showed up to an indie show one day, and it was like it honestly felt like it was a lot in just the moment, because I went to a show. I was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. Didn't even ask anybody how to sign up. Somebody just walked up to me and they were like, hey kid, you want to wrestle? And I was like, sure, yeah, fuck it.
I like it.
Good story. Yeah. So who were some of your early favorites, and how did they influence your style?
Some of my early favorites right out of the gates was Edge, just from that TLC match. It stuck with me for a very long time, and actually I got to do extra work for WWE last year in January when they came through Oklahoma City, and I got to do security work for Edge and hear a lot of like knowledge and stuff passed down to me. And not to name drop, but it was like when you get to meet your favorite wrestler and you're learning like actual on the job critique from your favorite wrestler, it's the best feeling in the world.
For sure.
But like Edge is such a fantastic guy. He was super nice to everybody, and there was a lot of guys in the back that just introduced themselves to the extras when they really didn't have to. So it's nice to know they at least like care about introducing themselves. But Edge, AJ Styles is a huge inspiration. People don't give this guy enough flowers, but The Miz, he is arguably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He was my favorite wrestler when I was like just a shithead little middle school teenager. That's like every teenager's little favorite wrestler, because he's like, oh, haters hurt me. And when you're 13, you're like, yeah, dude, haters love me. So I liked The Miz. Barring his recent outcomings, Ric Flair was also a huge inspiration to me. So if I could separate work and character, I'd throw him in that hat as well.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah, you'll get no argument about The Miz from us. We have we've touted on this show. Yes, The Miz definitely deserves some more praise, a lot more than he gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, hands down. So let's fast forward. In addition to all of your singles accolades, you are a part of the Only Friends tag team with Stormy Renee. Tell us about the first time you met her, and if you knew that she was the tag team partner for you in that moment.
In the moment, no, not really, because like I barely had things figured out for myself. Like you said, I've been wrestling for about 5 years now, but I've only been doing the spotlight character and going by my real name and stuff for like 2 or 3 years now. When I first started, I just had like some crappy hometown kid gimmick that I just like. I didn't have a character. I didn't know how wrestling worked, and I was just out there trying to get reps. And you learn after so much time how to kind of get those things. And once I came more into being comfortable with wrestling and the character side of things and the business side of things, I kind of realized that me and Stormy would be perfect together, because not only like I'm not toot my own horn, but like we both sell a lot of merch independently on our own. And in my head, I was like, well, she's one of my best friends in real life, and like I would die to give something fresh to the independent scene around here. And mixed tag teams, they're normally like brother, sister, boyfriend, girlfriend, that kind of thing. But I feel like we're going to be able to have a fresh take on intergender wrestling that usually isn't done unless you're, Effie and Alley Catch, that kind of thing. It's just not done in this area, at least. It might be bigger in other places, but the Midwest sort of like, I don't even know what to call this, the Heartland, the Southwest type area, the grass plains. We don't get that kind of thing here. In a lot of the states around here, they may not be commissioned, but they still don't book that kind of thing just because of the mentality behind it. So our idea was just to shake things up and make a lot of money from it. And plus, we both started at the same time, around the same time, and we've been close since we've started. So it kind of just felt like the move at the time.
Nice.
We haven't even debuted yet, but we've already invested a lot of money. We got the gear, we got a lot of merch already.
There you go.
Had their first match, but like we kind of just pulled the trigger when one company decided to book us together, and they were like, hey, we need a tag team name for you. And I was like, I have the most brilliant thing ever in my head right now. We sell a lot of merch, and it was the Only Friends name gimmick, and she said that was also the most amazing thing she's ever heard in her life. So we kind of just pitched it to the promoter, and he didn't bat an eye at it. And it's going to be for Fountain City Pro outside of Kansas City on March 8th. They're a new company, so that'll be their debut show, as well as me and Stormy's tag team debut.
Very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
And again, totally toot your own horn. That's why you're here. Don't be humble.
Yeah, we're super excited for that. Like they haven't announced it yet, but I'm sure I can say something to get a little hype around it. But I believe me and Stormy are debuting against Laney Luck and GPA from Freelance, so that's going to be a lot of fun for us.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of Freelance for the last year or so after I came out last year, because they are a super queer inclusive brand, and you got to put those feelers and resumes out. And I decided in 2024 that was one of my big things I wanted to do, was work for more queer inclusive companies. That way, I could kind of be more involved in the scene, because the community I've felt so far just in the 6 or 7 months of being out is insane. Like I didn't even know I was getting scouted for the QWI, so it was a surprise.
No, it's awesome. No, that's good to hear.
Very cool.
I'm gonna yell at my co-host because he again buried the lead on another interview. You ended 2023 and started 2024 with a bang. You won Wrestler, Feud, and Match of the Year. How does that feel?
It felt pretty good. Like I won't lie. I don't know. Oklahoma is weird in a sense that we're all a community and we all love each other. But it's like when someone does better than the other person, it's competitive in nature and we just like feel spite. And so I've always felt like I haven't been quite respected enough in my community. Not that I've necessarily like deserved it, but I mean, I've been around for a minute and I've wrestled a lot. I've spent a lot of my time, my free time, my money, my passion, my energy doing this just like anybody else has. And I think I had some sort of like chip on my shoulder to prove that I not only could be the first openly out wrestler to win the award, but also the award. Oklahoma's weird in the sense that they divide Tulsa and Oklahoma City into like territories, but everybody's friends. Everybody still wrestles in the same place together. It's really weird. Hasn't been a thing in a minute, but the Tulsa guys have mostly been the ones to win those type of awards. So it felt good to give some credit to my home city and not put us on the map, but make us feel a little more represented in a way.
Yeah,
love that. Very astute take, and congratulations again.
It was a fan vote too, and that's the thing I care about the most. I care about the people I'm performing for.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you're able to have that connection with them, and I mean, it's no different than looking at Pro Bowl voting or All-Star Game voting. These are people that fans genuinely want to see in these events and to get these accolades. So, no, hats off. That's a hell of an accomplishment to bring in year 5. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think I read somewhere that you recently wrestled in a 6-sided ring for the first time recently.
And it's funny because it happened like the same week that TNA completely like rebranded, like Impact went back to TNA, and it was like that same weekend I'm wrestling in a 6-sided ring. I was like, this is awfully coincidental, don't you guys think? But like a lot of the older guys were trying to tell me, hey, it's a little more rough than a regular ring, so be careful. Nah, I love that ring. It was amazing. Okay. I have no bad words to say about a 6-sided ring. I think I just may have had a good experience, and plus I liked the opponent that I was in there with. So, that helps. But like, it was great. I really didn't experience like too much of a change. But like now that I get to see where some of my heroes started in TNA on a 6-sided ring, and then get to do it myself was great because, like I said, AJ Styles was one of my still is one of my dudes that I look up to, and when I was watching TNA back in 2005 and 2006, that's peak.
So what is it about the 6 sides that made it awesome? Something that we may not think about as from a viewer standpoint.
I just feel like there's more opportunities to do things. There's more chances for innovation, so to say, like creativity for luchadors, that kind of thing, or different ways to reverse Irish whips and. Just that kind of thing. It adds like dimensions to the game, so to say. I mean, you're going from 4 sides to 6 sides, and the older guys are telling me to watch out because the ring has to be more compact when you have more sides like that, and so it's not bump. But as long as you're safe and you do your bumps, like, wrestling's wrestling. It's gonna hurt, brother. You gotta kind of just suck it up.
For sure.
So you are streaming on Twitch. You also have a YouTube vlog. What are some tips you would give to aspiring wrestlers looking to better leverage their social media impact?
Dude, I wish I could leverage my social media impact right now. Like my social media is good on Facebook, and my TikTok has like a couple thousand, but like I struggle in the ones that are like more big with my age range, which is like I'm 24, about to be 25. So like my generation grew up with Instagram and like Twitter and stuff like that, and that's just not like. I have a couple hundred on Twitter and Instagram, but I don't really get a lot of reach right there. I'm trying really hard though. It's hard to hit the algorithms. Really, you gotta follow the wrestling community, and you gotta get out there. Like with you guys, I just followed you guys back, and here we are with an opportunity. Yep. So it can be as easy as that sometimes, but. My best advice is just to like get on a schedule of posting, like a content type schedule. Like if you promise your videos out by a certain time, that'll help people be more in tune with like oh, hey, it's the 1st and the 15th of the month. Logan Night Vlogs just dropped. Also, you probably just got paid depending on what kind of job you have, so it's a good reminder. But like the content schedule, I have a good editor. His name's Cam. He is great. My former editor was actually Walker Stewart, the commentator for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Very cool.
He is a close friend of mine. He lives here in Oklahoma, and he one day was just like, "Do you want to start a vlog for your channel, man? I'll edit it for you." And I was like, "You know what? That's a fantastic idea. You're going places, kid."
There you go.
And here we are. But my new editor, Cam, he works as magic, so it's good to know people that know what they're doing behind a computer, because I certainly don't. I just know how to film myself and talk, and the rest of the people do the magic for me. And it helps to be able to like financially invest in that kind of thing, because it is an investment. Like you got to pay Cam for the editorial work, and you got to, use your free time to film these sort of things, and you got to be passionate about it. You really do, because I feel like if I wasn't so passionate about wrestling, that I wouldn't even be doing half the stuff that I do now, and I'd be a lot more lazier. Like, I wouldn't be going to the gym. I wouldn't be posting these vlogs. I'd probably just be streaming video games and going to independent wrestling shows as a fan. But like, if you're passionate about wanting to get your stuff seen, that like a content schedule and a good editor those are the first 2 feet in the ground, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of your passion for wrestling, let's sum up your 2023 here. 5 states, 16 promotions worked for, 75 matches, 6 championships, 25 pounds down, 23,378 miles driven, and a WWE extra. What moment or match, I know you've already talked about being an extra, but outside of that, what moment or match stands out to you about your 2023 the most?
There's honestly a few. I try when I make those posts not to seem like I'm trying to be braggadocious, but it's important as independent wrestlers to make your stuff seen. If you don't tell everybody what you are doing, nobody's going to see it. And it's not like I'm trying to, toot the horn again, but I have to. You have to in independent wrestling, or you're just not going to be seen. And rather that's social media or promo work or your in-ring presence, that any number of things that contribute to be a professional wrestler, it's you got to do it. The match that I enjoyed the most, I made a mission to try and have as much matches as I possibly could last year, and not to like sacrifice for quality of match either. I would take that into account, but every weekend I was trying to be booked, and it worked out, and it's happening again this year, whether I like it or not. And but the matches, there were a few. I had a match with Sam Stackhouse. He is a independent talent that's from Oklahoma. That's pretty big at GCW right now. He does a couple of their shows every couple of months, and he's doing I say some, but a lot of great things here in our region right now. And he's honestly a trailblazer for anybody that wants to, make it out of Oklahoma or put eyes on Oklahoma, any of those sort of things. I had a lot of fun with him, and I will wrestle him a million more times. I didn't get to wrestle him in a singles before that match, so it felt like a big deal to me. Sam's always been around since the beginning of my career, and I was paired up with him as a tag team when I first came into the business in Tulsa. So it just meant a lot to me sentimentally. I know the fans probably just wanted to see it in general, because who doesn't want to see me get my ass kicked in Oklahoma? But I had a little personal want out of that. And then I got to go ahead and say my match that got match of the year with this guy named the Gatekeeper. He has a really cool like a Dark Forces Sanctuary type gimmick, but he's moralistic. He's like a good guy about it. He's like, I don't know. He would have to tell you himself. I'm sure he would love to do this at some point. But we had a match called a Sanctuary match, where it was basically like Undertaker's, not with a ring match, the one he did with AJ Styles, where there's just kind of like stuff all around. Like a Halloween hardcore almost. But we had a ring and everything, and it was a lot of fun. I tried a lot of crazy stuff that I've never tried before. I moonsaulted with a trash can. I don't know. Like, there was a lot of risk that happened in that match, and all of it paid off, and ended up with an award. So I got to go ahead and say the one that won the award, and then Sam Stackhouse for just my personal endeavors. That was a lot of fun.
Love it. Given the Terry Funk energy, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of leads into the next question. You mentioned, two names there. Is there anybody that we should be keeping an eye out for, keeping an eye on over the next couple months that you think, hey, these guys need some spotlight? Guys or
Ooh.
gals?
Man, there are a lot of people. Uh, I travel through Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, and Arkansas, Colorado, that kind of area pretty frequently. I sometimes hit other areas, but this is my main area. I would say in Oklahoma, um, one of my tag team partners, Derek James. There's Merck. As far as female talents go, Skylar Slice is fantastic. Olivia Vegas, she just relocated to Las Vegas and is wrestling for Future Stars right now. She's a
Nice.
tremendous talent. Uh, God, Kansas. There's way too many to name. Obviously, Stormy. I think she's one of the best wrestlers we have in the area. There's guys like the tag team, the Rebel Hearts. There's the Air Capital Fight Club, which is Tommy Too Good, Austin Reddick. They wrestle a lot at Lucha Libre and Laughs in Denver, and a lot of Wichita promotion. They just started last year as well, but they are like real solid. The company feel fantastic. I'm on there. You wouldn't think for Wichita, Kansas, that you would feel something so alive as professional wrestling, but it's there once, twice a month sometimes. And
Awesome.
in Texas, Jeb Bingham and Amarillo, I always have fun with him. TJ Slater down in Dallas. There's a lot of great talent. I could go on and on and on. There's just so many great talent, especially like in our area. I feel like we have a unique age range because there's guys that are 40, 50, even 60 who, believe it or not, are still pretty entertaining wrestlers, and it's hard for that to happen sometimes. Like you got what's the guy that's wrestling in the Southeast area, Action Mike Jackson or something like that, the guy that's like 70 years old.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, shout out to him. I don't even know the guy. God bless your soul. That is
seriously. Well, as Logan, as we bring our interviews to an end, we have an ongoing debate on the Wrestling Junkies podcast, and every guest has been asked this question. So we are going to kick this over to you. When you hear Mr. WrestleMania, do you think Shawn Michaels or The Undertaker?
Shawn Michaels immediately. Unfortunately, that if you would have gotten to the question of what my favorite match is, it's the second WrestleMania match between those two guys.
Okay.
God, Shawn Michaels, another big inspiration, left him completely off the list, but yeah,
huge. That's fine. That's fine. That's
okay. It's okay. That question has trended your way the last couple of times, so
it has. That's okay. That's okay. Everything else so far has been fantastic except for that answer, but that's okay. Where can everybody find you on socials, and then what upcoming events do you have?
So you can find me on pretty much everything on at Logan Knight Pro. If you ever find me on Xbox somehow, I'm Spotlight LK. That's my streaming name as well. Mm-hmm. I stream sometimes. I'm trying to be in a better schedule about it, but between wrestling and you have to have a regular job and then traveling, how do you fit all that in a day? I'm trying, but I'm investing in a stream setup right now, so things should be tremendously better soon. Some shows I'm coming up on soon. I have my first ever TLC match this weekend in Tulsa. It is for Wrestle Against Hunger. My opponent is Trench Blythe, and it is for, funny enough, the Spotlight Championship. So I will be trying to get my namesake for the hell of it. And besides that, I am planning on going to the GCW Dallas event with Sam to maybe get my foot in the door or do anything particularly fun. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Plus, it's on the weekend of my birthday. I have 3 shows the weekend of my birthday, which is that GCW show, Heartland Championship Wrestling on the 24th in Wichita, and then in Dodge City, Kansas, there is a new luchador promotion, and that is happening on the 25th, which is the Sunday. You don't see Sunday shows very often around here, so I'm excited for that. And then, obviously, the debut of Only Friends in Olathe, Kansas, right outside Kansas City, for Fountain City Pro. I am looking forward to that. Obviously, me and Stormy are gonna crush it. But that's about all I have in the peripherals right now. I got tunnel vision strictly on that date for me right now.
Exciting news. Exciting news.
Busy guy. No, that's fantastic. Logan, thank you again so much for joining us. We definitely would love to have you back again. It's been a hell of a 2023 for you. It sounds like 2024 is shaping up to be even better. So give them hell. We're rooting for you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
No problem. For Logan Knight, for the podcast dad, I'm Mr. Cincinnati. This has been a special episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We'll talk to you guys soon.